Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. A little bit of a different look to this video over the last couple of days. My laptop is in the shop. It needs some repairs, so I'm recording this on a desktop computer, so that's why things look just a little bit different. It's another pretty quiet weather day here in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania. We'll show you the radar and all of the current information in just a moment. Wanted to start today with a look at the ice coverage on the Great Lakes. Of course, it is remarkably high. In fact, record high amounts of ice, at least going back to the late 70s anyway. Right now, 91% total ice cover on the Great Lakes, and that is a very, very high number. Of course, Lake Erie, a shallow lake, is essentially completely covered in ice. It has varying thicknesses. Now, one of the deeper lakes is Ontario, and you'll notice that there's not a ton of ice on there. Only one little hole on Lake Michigan, but Lake Superior, Lake Huron, all essentially ice covered, and this is pretty remarkable stuff. And when you look back through the last several weeks, this is how things have progressed on the Great Lakes as a whole. The blue bars are the current year, and the ice started to form in early December. This is December 4th, and it's been ratcheting up ever since, and here we are right now with 91%. The green line here is typical or average ice coverage for the season on the Great Lakes, and you can see it typically peaks right about now, early March, typically about 40% ice coverage by early March. So we're reaching the traditional peak of ice coverage on the Great Lakes, and then even this year where the ice concentration is really high, it will start to tail off as, of course, we get some warmer weather, the sun angle gets higher in the sky. Will this have an influence on spring and early summer weather? That's a big question, and I suspect it will, especially right along the lake shores. It may be a very cool spring right along the lake shores of the Great Lakes because of how cold the water is going to be for so long. It's going to be a very slow process of warming this water up as we head into the warmer weather seasons. Now, away from the immediate lake shore and closer to Youngstown, Akron, places like that, it won't have a tremendous influence, but certainly the closer you are to the lakes, the cooler the spring will be overall as a result of these very, very chilly water temperatures. In fact, frozen waters on the lakes this winter. All right, our map this afternoon, I'm recording this a little after 2 o'clock, and it looks like this little snow is trying to poke in from the west this afternoon. We've got an area of high pressure up just south of Hudson Bay, feeding some dry air south and west, and this is eating into the snow quite a bit. So this isn't amounting to much at all. In fact, some of this is not even reaching the ground. It is reaching the ground back towards Akron and Canton, but nothing more than a few flurries around right now in parts of Mahoning and Columbiana counties. It'll be a little bit of light snow or just some flurries this afternoon. We don't expect this to stick, so roads will just be damp or dry in most of the area for the rest of the day today. Taking a quick look at the rest of the country, let me take off the surface analysis. Well, we've got some wet weather down in parts of the south this afternoon, and a little bit of wet weather out across the plain states. Let me show you the temperature analysis here, and you'll see kind of an interesting thing here. The sun is out down in parts of the southeast, and it's warming up there, whereas where the clouds are holding tough, it's definitely cold in the Carolinas, northern Florida as well. And up in our neck of the woods, it's a cold day. Yes, it's much like yesterday. We're in the mid-20s this afternoon in most of the Mahoning Valley. The wind chill, not much of a factor because there's not a lot of a breeze. 13, the current wind chill right now here in Youngstown. So it's a winter jacket day, but it's certainly better than it was a couple of days ago when we struggled to get out of the lower teens. So as we head into the future, let's talk about that, and the weather overall pretty quiet. We'll head into Thursday on a quiet note with an area of high pressure over here, over New England, and we'll have a mixed bag of clouds and sun across the Buckeye State and the Keystone State as well. This system that'll come up the Carolina coast will not influence our weather at all, aside from maybe some high clouds Thursday night into Friday morning. This will be kind of a nasty nor'easter, though, for Virginia Beach, beaches of Delaware and Maryland. Not exactly a great-looking Friday there. So we head into the weekend. This is Saturday. That low-pressure system is pushing off the east coast, and a little front will slip in from the west on Saturday. And much like today's system, this is really going to weaken as it does so. So there can be just a bit of snow, maybe a couple of raindrops, I think, on Saturday, particularly in the afternoon and evening hours. Notice that just sort of dries up, and the second half of the weekend looks uneventful. And I'll keep on going into early next week, maybe a little clipper system here Monday night into Tuesday with perhaps some light snow or flurries. And that's about it. No big storms coming our way anytime soon. Temperature-wise, we're going to see our ups and downs. I do think that it warms up maybe a little above average. This is Friday right here, and then this is late in the weekend, early next week. We've got a couple of days where we'll get well into the 40s, it looks like. Kind of a mirage, though, because overall, yes, it's a generally chilly pattern for our part of the country. And beyond these two little mirages here, Friday and then late in the weekend, early next week, definitely a downward swing after that. I think late next week, it looks pretty cold compared to average. This means a lot of days with highs probably in the 30s, at worst, maybe upper 20s. Not exactly where we should be in mid-March, but this is the kind of season we've got so far. No real signs through the end of March that we'll see any sustained warmth. A day here and there, like we'll have Friday and again Sunday and a Monday. But sustained warmth just doesn't seem real likely through most of the rest of the month. We really hope April turns things around. We need it. We definitely deserve it. It's been a pretty tough winter in these parts. For more on the winter weather statistics and some of the longer range projections, check out my blog post from yesterday on my weather blog, ericwfmj.com. All right, I'll be on 21 News as usual tonight at 6 and 11. Thanks for checking out Weather for Weather Geeks on this Wednesday. I'll see you with another edition of this video Thursday afternoon.